What up, what up? It's the Monday Morning Drive. I apologize to you guys. I haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks, mainly because the little back plate on my phone was busted. But we got that fixed now. I'm just a little slow. But I want to talk to you guys today. First of all, if you're watching the replay, thanks so much. You can get all these videos on YouTube as well. So if you can't catch them live for whatever reason, just go to the YouTubes and check out my YouTube page, and you can get all the recordings of stuff and also a lot of other great content on there if you're so inclined. But we're talking today a little bit about certainty. And there's a saying that goes around the self-help sphere that says something along the lines of, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? In a sense, if there were zero risks involved, dogs in the building. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Peter? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? If there were no risks at all, what would you do, and what would you go after? And the reality is that this is other than helping you to understand that applying maximum effort to anything for which you choose to pursue is important. There's very little value in this idea that, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Because the fact is, you can fail. The fact is, there is risk in literally everything that we do. And so there's no point in trying to say, well, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Because there is always the risk of failure. And honestly, without any risk, nothing is worth pursuing. But the question becomes, what does that really mean psychologically for us as individuals? Hey, good morning, guys. How are you? What does it mean? What does this certainty thing mean to us, especially as we sell or market what we do, or we're starting to put together a brand for ourselves? Understanding that there is a constant want and desire for certainty is of critical importance in everything that you market or sell. And let me explain why this is. There have been multiple studies that have been done over the years, most notably showcased in the book Influence by Cialdini, that people will choose a guarantee over a risk, even a relatively low risk, for something better, but that costs them, that isn't guaranteed. So if I offered you, say, $100 right now, you could just take it and walk away, or I offered you a chance to win $1,000, but you only have a 75% chance of walking away with the $1,000, surprisingly, the bulk of people would choose the guaranteed $100. Now, what's even more, I guess, sort of telling is that we are predictably irrational in our desire for guarantee, for certainty in our lives. This goes beyond a want or a desire for things or for stuff, but also a need to maintain consistency in who we are and who other people are. So if you get a friend who's constantly flaky and you never know what they're going to do, and they're constantly changing what they're into or who they are and what they believe, this becomes extremely difficult for us, and we have trouble trusting that person because there is no connection. There is no certainty in who that person is or who's going to show up that day. We've all been in relationships or have known people who we really don't know what sort of bipolar person is going to walk into the room the next time we see them. And this creates massive amounts of problems for us as people trying to find order and find peace and find comfort in the world that we live in. Now, why does all this matter to you in your daily life, in your business, etc.? The more certain you are, the more confident you are, the more of a guarantee your words, your actions, your pitch conveys, the more likely you are to amass great amounts of people who will follow you and do what you say. The bulk of what I do in life, in business, is teach persuasion and teach influence. And we do that through the form of developing personal brand and doing marketing that promotes you and what it is that you do, so that you can grow your business and that you can, retain more clients and get better clients and charge more for what you do. Okay, so this idea of certainty is of critical importance, because what we really seek in life is certainty, is the guarantee that never comes. But the more certain you can be, the better job you do of creating that level of certainty in the people that you do business with and want to do business with, the more success you're going to have. So how do we do this? Well, one of them is through things like guarantees. So an easy way to do it is just to say, look, if you buy my stuff and you don't like it, you can get it on. I mean, you can give it back to me and I'll give you a full refund. A lot of times you'll see these refunds go for 7 days or 30 days or even a year. The longer the guarantee, typically the more confidence people will have in you. Another way to do it is through declarative statements, is to not be wishy-washy. People don't want the 3 different ways that you could do things. They want the one way you can do it, and they want the only way that you can do it. And the more clear you are about your way being the right way, your way being the best way, your way being the only way, the more successful you will be at finding and retaining clients and customers. Okay, because people don't want to know the 80 different ways to do it. Now, there may be 80 different ways to do it. It's so funny when I talk with people. It's one of these things where when you actually sit down and have a conversation with a client, and you're saying, okay, what do we want to do? Well, how are we going to promote? Well, we could do organic, or we could buy Facebook traffic or Google, or we could do direct mail, or we could do banner advertisements. Maybe we should do a little bit of all of it. If you go down that route, what you find is that there is confusion and uncertainty in the part of your prospect and your client. I actually worked with somebody for a long time who absolutely could not make a decision. Absolutely couldn't. You'd walk in and say, well, okay, what do you want to do about this? They're like, well, we could do it like this, we could do it like that, we could do it like this. And be like, okay, but what way do you want to do it? Like, what do you want to do? Because I recognize we can do all those things. Which one do you want to do? Well, I don't know. We could do this or this or this. And it became so bad that you just ended up making the decision. I just ended up doing it because it was too difficult to try and go round and round about all of the things that we could do. Same thing's true for your customers and your clients. They want to be led. They want to be directed. We are all looking for someone to turn responsibility over to. We don't want to think about it. We don't want to make the decision. We don't want to choose. If we do, a lot of us pretend like we want to choose, but in reality, what we want is a narrow construct of choice for which we can then make a decision. And so the better job you do of saying to them, listen, based on what you've told me, here's what you need, the more successful you are going to be. Okay? We are not in the negotiation business. We are in the prescription writing business. The better job you are at writing a prescription for your customers or your clients, the more successful you are going to be, because that is what they want. They want you to write the prescription, and they want to know it will work. When you get sick and you go to the doctor doesn't look at you and say, well, here's what we can do. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. Frankly, it might not work at all, but what I want to do is pump you full of about 3 or 4 different kinds of drugs, and then we'll see what happens. What you want to go into the doctor, you want to sit down, you want the doctor to say, I know exactly what your problem is. I've seen 15 other people today that have this exact same problem. I know exactly how to fix this. You're going to take this drug, you're going to take it for the next 10 days, you're going to take it twice a day, once at lunch, once at dinner, with food, boom, and you're going to be fine. You want that level of certainty out of your doctor. You want that level of certainty. Your clients, your customers, your prospects, they all want that same level of certainty out of you. They want to believe. They want to be able to say, he's got this. She's going to handle it. I don't have to worry. I'll just do what they say. And the more confident you are, the more certain you are, the more successful you will be, and the happier your clients will be.